There is a mini-dungeon that we can enter that is filled with mini-bosses and harder enemies. The catch is that you need 16 plus heart containers in order to enter all of the rooms and complete it. If you've been following the walkthrough thus far, you should easily have that many hearts. Otherwise, you want to go to our website and check out the Pieces of Heart guide and find ones you are missing if you would like to tackle this shrine. So, to get to the shrine, you want to soar to Akana Canyon and put on the Zora mask and jump into the water. Now swim upstream to find a hidden area where the water flow begins. There's also a hole here off to the side that you can fall down to get some Deku Nuts, Deku Sticks, and some Bomb Shoes. The Bomb Shoes themselves aren't very helpful for this next part in my opinion, but if you feel like playing around you may want to snag them. Surprisingly, the most useful thing here by far is the Deku Nuts. As you'll see, when you're all done here, you want to go back to the surface and enter the secret shrine. In this first room, there is a patch of soft soil here, and you can plant a magic bean and then play the Song of Storms to make it grow, or you could use the fresh spring water that is here in this room. But that would be too easy if they provided everything for you, wouldn't it? But it allows you to get some rupees in the upper portions of this room, but I think it's a tremendous waste of time. I mean, considering it's not very many rupees in the first place, and the fact that you have to buy the magic bean, and the fact that you've probably already gotten the piece of heart from the bank, so you technically don't need to collect any more rupees ever again. Anyway, so just slash the jars for you to stock up on magic and arrows, and then shoot the sun face with a light arrow to open the door. Oh no, it's that creepy red-eyed fellow from earlier. I thought he said his soul was healed when we slew all the Poe Sisters a while back or something, but anyway, he has one last challenge for you. Slaughter all the enemies in the 4 rooms to get a prize. This guy seriously has issues. I mean, simple enough task though, right? I mean, you'll need a lot of arrows, and the Great Fairy Sword that we got from the Stone Tower Temple would be helpful, but it's not required. The difficulty is sort of lined out from left to right, so I will be showing them in that order. This first room on the far left contains 3 Dino Foals. Now that we have the Gilded Sword, you can kill these guys pretty darn fast. However, the Great Fairy Sword will also kill them in a single hit. Now don't worry though, what's that? You can't kill them that super easy? Well, watch this. You can also kill them instantly with a Goron Pound. Yeah! So after completing each room, a chest appears containing a silver rupee. You can snag it if you want, then slash the bushes along the walls to stock up on items. I highly recommend you do this because we want to get some Deku Nuts, which drop often here. This is awesome, and you'll see why soon enough. So, there are 4 rooms, and they can be done in any order. However, each time you complete a room, the next one takes more total life in order for you to enter the door at all. So you have to complete all of the rooms in order to get the prize, and you'll need 16 hearts or more to reach all of the rooms. Because of this, you'll most likely only be able to tackle this near the very end of the game. You'll never guess who's in the second room. None other than your favorite enemy ever, Wizrobe, the 5th time. I don't really like how often he's reused in this because, yes, each time you fight him he gets a little bit more difficult, having more awkwardly placed warp tiles or having more life, but other than that, he's really the exact same. I don't care what you say. His health difference isn't very noticeable, especially when we have such good weapons now, so he honestly doesn't feel that different to me each time. He's the same. I don't care. They changed him a little bit, but he's the same. What I would have enjoyed more would have been like, I don't know, a room full of real bomb shoes that all chase after you at the exact same time. It wouldn't exactly be hard, you just use your shield or whatnot, but it would be cool. Or like Enos, you know, the snowman enemies that toss snowballs at you and they split and get smaller or whatever when you defeat them. That'd be cool. I mean, it would be sweet to face off with a giant one of those, and you need to split them several times along with like, I don't know, some white wolfos at the same time. So white bows, white wolfos, and some Enos all attacking you. Maybe a freeze art here and there or something, but I don't know. That would have been kind of cool. Challenging. Lots of enemies, like, I mean, I guess they have to not have too many on the screen at once because it'll lag too much, but instead we're just facing off with a recycled mini-boss, the most recycled guy in the entire game. Anyway, the one really hard thing about this particular battle is that now we finally do not have the map and compass when we face him. Usually you can simply watch your map and run over to the red dot, which is where the real Wizrobe is located. But now that we don't have that option, so we're a little bit more blind than before, but he's still easy. Once you defeat him, you can snag the rupees if you like, and then slash out the bushes and jars here to get some Deku Nuts. The next battle is much easier if you have Deku Nuts, so I highly recommend you try and find as many as possible right now. So as you're passing through the center, you may want to collect some magic. You can use the Zora Mask to sink down into the water here and find pots that contain magic jars you want to fill up, and then return to the surface and work your way to the third door. As you enter, look up at the ceiling to initiate the battle with Wart again. Now, while I think this battle is really cool, it honestly just takes far too long. I have a love-hate relationship with fighting this thing because of that. I mean, just like before, it surrounds itself with the pink things, the pink orbs that will fall off when you hit them, and the goal is to kill as many of the pink orbs as possible before we actually start attacking the eye. And the best technique that I have found to do this is to toss bombs just before it explodes and then immediately follow up with a Deku Nut or two. This is incredibly effective. You can kill them so fast this way. Now, back in the Great Bay Temple, I vaguely mentioned that strategy a bit, but I wasn't really counting on anybody having Deku Nuts at that point, because you would have had to go really far out of your way just to get them and actually have them for that dungeon. And I don't think a normal person would do that, so I didn't end up showing how to complete Wart with that item. But as you can see here, that you want to try and hit as many pink orbs as possible with your bombs so that a bunch of them fall down. And another effective strategy that I have found is to wear the blast mask and use it second. So you'll toss a bomb, and as soon as the orbs fall off, you want to stand close, use your shield, and press B to explode, which kills all the nearby ones instantly, so that's pretty awesome. Now, you probably noticed, though, that using these area damage attacks like this are also hurting Wart when his/her eye is open, so you don't really want to kill it just yet. If you're worried about it, you can always pick off the orbs one at a time using the hook shot, slash them with your sword or whatnot. There's a lot of different items you can really use to kill the pink things, honestly. Now, you can always hit Wart in the eye with arrows, or hit the eye accidentally or on purpose with bombs, but once he's taken enough damage, the orbs will fall away and he'll zoom around the room, bonking into walls. And when the eye is closed, that's sort of random, so you're actually somewhat safe from being squished. However, once the eye occasionally opens, he'll actually purposefully come towards you and try and ram into you. So you can hide in the corner, because he can't fit there, and I recommend doing this at least until the pink things are taken care of, just because it's hard to concentrate on them when you're trying to avoid getting smushed. But for the big groups of pink dubers, the Deku Nuts get my vote for the best weapon to use against them. After that is like bombs, the blast mask, and quick spins as far as good options. When all the pink orbs are dead, you want to wait for an opportunity to shoot Wart in the eye. Once again, just remember that you can retreat to the corners and he will not be able to reach you. This portion of the battle is pretty boring in my opinion, but it's also very quick. As usual, you can snag the rupees if you like, and then collect stuff from the bushes if you want. When you're done with that, you want to return to the central chamber and work your way to the fourth and final door. As I've said a few times already, you can only enter the rooms in this little dungeon if you have the necessary number of heart containers. This final room requires 16 heart containers or more. Whichever room you end up going to last, that one will require 16 hearts. So, that's why I'm showing this so close to the end of the game, is because now we have tons of hearts. The final room contains another Garo Master. Dun dun dun. Its flaming swords will then make you start the dungeon over again if you use the Deku Mask or Zora Mask, so don't wear either of those masks. This would be really lame to have to start this whole thing and fight all those guys all over again. Z-target him and strafe when he tries to hit you, and once his defenses are down, you want to quickly hit him, and then defend when he counterattacks. Now, if you get too far away, he may teleport, so just run away from his shadow and turn around and then hit him in the back if this happens. Now, either way, once he's vulnerable, you can try using a jump attack to do even more damage. This is particularly true if you have the Great Fairy Sword, which causes pain. That sword does so much damage that you can just you'll do 8 damage with the jump attack with that weapon. Just be warned, though, that you cannot defend with the Great Fairy Sword. He can attack right through it, so you'll need to get your shield out very quickly by slashing your regular sword and then use your shield before he counterattacks, so that way you can defend. Once it's defeated, just be sure to defend against his explosion or backup. It doesn't do that much damage, but it'd be a real shame to die after all that. I mean, you defeat all of the mini-bosses in here, and then you die yourself. That would just be stupid. Now you can snag the rupees if you like, and then return to the central chamber. So once all of the rooms have been cleared, then the chest that appears in the center contains a piece of heart. If you've been following along with this walkthrough thus far, you should have 48 pieces of heart, which is all of them in the entire game except for the final area, which we are about to go to. Now doesn't that feel good? Now if you still need to put rupees in the bank, then warp to Clocktown and put them in. Otherwise, you can simply play the Song of Time with me right now to save, and then join me for the next chapter where we will move on to the very end of the game.